What's going on? It's SpyCat, and we're going on to another one of my favorite actors who I collect, John Leguizamo. Anyway, guys, John Leguizamo was born in Colombia on July 22nd, 1964, which makes him 52 years old. He's been one of my favorite actors ever since I saw Super Mario Brothers as a kid in the theater, and I couldn't tell you how much I loved seeing this movie right when it came out as a young kid in the movie theater. And he's just a great actor representing the Latin people. He's from Colombia, and he's great. Awesome. So you know how this thing goes. I'm going to show you guys all the movies that I have with him in it. I have about 23 movies, starting from the earliest movie that he was ever in, the first movie he was ever in, down to the latest movie that he was in. So let's get started. So the earliest movie that I have came out in 1989, and it's actually one of my favorite war movies of all time. It's Casualties of War, and he plays He plays PFC Antonio Diaz, and this is the story about Michael J. Fox. Sean Penn plays the sergeant or whatever, and when they take this Vietnamese girl hostage or not hostage, they for some reason they have him in their control or whatever, and it's basically based on a true story about how they mistreat her. Everybody ends up raping her and just treating her like garbage, and all of them get in trouble. Michael J. Fox is the only one that doesn't really want to go through with it. Everybody else does. John Leguizamo kind of doesn't want to do it, but he ends up doing it too. But he still plays that innocent role in this movie. Yeah, Casualties of War, awesome movie, one of my favorites, real intense though, drama. The second movie that I have came out a year after that in 1990, where he plays Burker in Die Hard 2. Or Burke, not Burker, I meant to say Burke. 1990 he was in this. Third movie that I have with him is Out for Justice, which came out in 1991, a year later. What does he play in this one? He plays the boy in the alley. So, pretty sure it's a real tiny part. But he's in it. And my favorite movie of all time, definitely my favorite John Leguizamo movie, just because it's the first one I saw when I was a kid of him. And like I said, I absolutely love this movie. Came out 2 years after that in 1993, and he plays Luigi. And he kills it in this movie. I love this movie, man. He also is in Carlito's Way, which also came out in 1993, where he plays the character of Benny Bianco? Bianco. Benny Bianco. And then he was in A Pyromaniac's Love Story. I just got this. I can't remember if I paid a couple bucks for it, but this one came out a couple years after that in 1995. I gotta watch this one. I haven't seen this one at all. William Baldwin's in it. But I don't know, looks kind of like a love story, romantic comedy. And another movie that came out in 1995 was To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything. This is one of those movies I just never open. I keep it in the package. It was out of print at one time, but now it's not anymore. I don't even know if this is on Blu-ray. This is a funny movie, man. For three dudes dressing up as chicks, it's a great movie, I gotta say. And that's just a funny movie, man. And he plays the character Chi-Chi. He also was in Executive Decision, which came out a year after that in 1996, where he plays the character of Rat. Not a rat. His name's Rat in this movie. And another movie that came out in 95 was Romeo and Juliet, where he plays, I forgot who he plays in this. I forgot. But yeah, Romeo and Juliet. Another 95 movie. And another 1995 movie that he was in was The Fan, where he plays Wesley Snipes. I think he kind of has his back, not like a bodyguard, but something kind of like that. And in this one, he plays the character Manny. And in 1997, he was in another one of my favorite movies as a kid. I watched this tons of time, Spawn, where he plays the character of the fat clown. And he is creepy in this movie, man. Pretty scary. This isn't the original, but I like this cover. This was a cool cover when it came out on, VHS. That's the original cover. That was the original cover. And I'm totally glad that I have this cool director's cut of this movie. This was an awesome movie. This isn't really a talked about movie that much, but it was definitely one of my favorites of like characters like Spider-Man, Superman. This is up there with that. The Crow. And in 1998, this is going to be really weird, because this kind of tripped me out. He plays the character of the Rat in this movie, and a couple years back in Executive Decision, his character was called Rat. That's kind of weird. I don't know. Kind of weird thing going on there, I think. Anyway, Dr. Dolittle, 98, he plays the character of the Rat, and he plays the character of the Rat in Executive Decision, but not a little tiny rat. Joe the King, I think when did this one come out? This one came out a year later in 1999, and he plays the character of George in Joe the King. Haven't found this on DVD yet, so, I have the old school VHS tape that I got from the video store at West Portal going out of business. Summer of Sam, this is a really good movie. Really great, good movie. I think this is the Spike Lee one. He plays the character of Vinny in this movie. I think this is a Spike Lee one. I can't remember if this is the Spike Lee one. Let's see, you guys can read it. Or maybe this isn't the one that I'm thinking of. This isn't the one I'm thinking of. This is like a thriller. Think about a serial killer, I think. Arabian Nights, this one came out a year after that in the year 2000. And what does he play in this one? He plays the genie in this movie. That's right. He plays the genie. That's pretty cool. So he can play some crazy roles, man. Especially how he played the clown, and then he's that creepy genie. Pretty trippy. And this is also from the movie store. Hallmark Channel put this movie out. I don't know if this is on DVD. This is the drama one that I was talking about. King of the Jungle. Not George of the Jungle. But King of the Jungle, he plays Seymour. And in this movie, he kind of has like he's mentally handicapped. He's not like all there in the head. And I just think he really does a great job at this role. He's like an adult, and the mom still has to treat him like a little kid and everything. He plays a really... This is like award-winning, like, John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo. No S at the end. I don't know why I'm saying that. But this is a really, really good movie. I remember the mom's like a activist, and something bad happens to her. It's kind of in the streets of... kind of in the ghetto, the Latino barrio, kind of a messed up neighborhood they live in. This is a great... HBO did a fantastic job on this movie. Great drama movie, and he nailed the role in this one. He was in Collateral Damage, which came out in 2002, where he plays the character Felix Ramirez. And another movie that came out in 2002 was... Zigzag, and he plays the character of Dean. Haven't watched that one in a while. Point of Origin, another movie that came out in 2002. This was a HBO movie too, and this is a pretty... I think this is the one about like the killer or something. Yeah, serial killer. I remember a little bit of this movie. He plays the character of Keith Lang. Groomsman. This is a good movie, man, and I love Donald Ogg, the guy that was in Grounded for Life. Tao of Steve, one of my favorite movies of all time. Brittany Murphy's in this one. All these guys from high school get together for the bachelor party, for the wedding of their friend. Nobody knows that John Leguizamo is gay. He's plays a character of the guy, one of the friends that ended up being gay, and he has a hard time telling all the friends that, thinking that they're going to judge him and stuff. Really good comedy drama movie. Great movie. I've watched it one a lot of times. It is a great movie. He also was in Righteous Kill, which came out a bunch of years after that in 2008. I haven't watched this movie in a long time. I think this is the one that has 50 Cent in it. And by the way, the other movie was 2005, The Groomsman, if I didn't say that. So this came out a couple years, 3 years later after that, in 2008. And another movie that came out in 2008 was Nothing Like the Holidays, which is a good family movie, pretty good movie. He plays the character of Marcio Rodriguez. And the last movie that I have, the latest movie, the newest movie that he was in, was Ride Along. And he plays Santiago in this one. So that was my John Leguizamo's movie collection, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next actor I'm going to do.